On my house. Buck here. And I'm back with another Fishing Planet video. And this is the beginner series. Um, what I'm trying to do here is trying to get some information out to you guys on how to get through some of this, understand a little bit more. So we started off, I revamped my setup guide the other day, put that one out. So this one here is basically going to be Buck, get your stuff over there the right way. There we go. What we're going to talk about here is weapons mechanics. We looked at the last video with this setup guide, got us through all that, and we needed to basically start fishing. So there were some prerequisites here at this point. So if you had that little telescopic rod, we started our fishing, and where you should be at this point, or you should be damn close to it. I mean, spend a day, 7 8. I think I spent 7 hours or something like that redoing this, and I know where all the fish are, so I know it could be a little bit difficult. But the prerequisite at this point, you should be at least a level 25 or level 12 or close to it. Okay, you need to have somewhere around 54 bait coins in your pocket. You need to have somewhere around 29,000 currency, somewhere around there. All right. Now you should have achieved the glowing pair. You should have got the X Series ball bobber, the X Series slim, the X Series hook for aught, and completed quite a few challenges. So the challenges: tight lines, trophy gainer 1, 2, and 3, lucky bobber 1, 2, and 3 completed, maniac 1, 2, and 3 already completed, panfish overlord 1, 2, and 3 completed, lone star ranger 2 and 3 completed. What else was there? Holy float 1, you should have that completed, and you should have at least 7 fish records in your profile, 7 of them. Because if you just had the red worms and the bread and you didn't buy anything else, and I showed you where you get the free red worms every day, but I haven't been able to get any more free red worms. I did this all in one day. So I had to buy some red worms and some bread to get through these missions, but that's where you should be at this point. So we're going to start with the very next in line. And the reason I say you should have completed the 30-day mission at Lone Star. One of the hardest missions to complete in Fishing Planet is the 30-day missions on all the waterways. You got to stay there for 30 days. That's pretty hard on a lot of these expensive waterways. Very hard. One of the hardest missions in the game. And Lone Star makes it easy because you can do it one of two ways. You can either go over there with no pole, no nothing, and just fast forward to the next morning every day for 30 days, and you'll get basically what you get is an X Series ball bobber, and that's a good thing to have. However, I suggest that you do it in the very beginning, like I did it just now. Do your 30 days right there, because you got a small net, so you can just fill that net up, go to the next day, fill the net up, go to the next day, get your 30 days in, complete all these panfish challenges, because you're going to catch a ton of panfish. You can do it without moving off the bridge. I just did it. 30 days, didn't move off the bridge other than go to the left or turn around to the right. That was it. Didn't fish for anything. I completed the first mission, Exploration 1. So we got that out of the way with red worms and bread. And if you watch my Lone Star videos, you know we do it on red worms. So I'm not going to get into that. Go watch the videos. You can see where the 2 spots I was at. That's it. I never moved. Managed to pick up a spotted bass on a red worm. So we got him. Kept him anyway, even though I got fined. Kept a couple of them. But I still made 25, 26 bucks on him. So no problem there. Anyway, so this is where we're at. tonight, what we're going to talk about, this is going to be a long one, probably. I don't know how quick. I'm going to try to get through it fast, but there's a lot of data here. Stuff that you have to know. If you're going to be successful in this game, you have to know this stuff. And what we're going to go over is the weapons. All the weapons that we got, how to set them up. There's a lot there. So let me get over there live here. Let's get over there. There we go. All right. Let's get started here, fellas. You know what? I hope my mic is on. Yeah, it's on. All right. Okay, we got everything. All right, let's get started here off the bat. We got this. Let's put those notes away there, Buck. We already got that opening. All right, we're going to talk about our sticks, guys. So we got eight sticks in all. Basically, is what Fishing Planet gives us. Now, in real life, you can put anything on anything, any way you want to do it, and fish. I mean, it shouldn't be called fishing. We're hunting. We're hunting specific. We're just not hunting four-legged creatures or two-legged creatures with wings. We're hunting creatures that swim in the water. We're still hunting. So we have weapons. That's what we're going to talk about, the weapons. And the weapons consist of basically four basic parts. You've got a stick. You've got an engine. You've got, what do you mean you're talking about four parts, Buck? There's only three parts. The stick, the engine, and the ammo. Oh, the string. That's right. I forgot about the string. There are four parts. Stick, engine, string, and ammo. That's what we're hunting with. So we need to learn how to balance all that, because everything in this game is all about balance, especially with the new update, guys. It's all about balance. And to get the most XP out of everything, they made it real life, true to life, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. And I'm going to explain to you some of this data that you see on the screen over there. So let's go to our inventory, Buck. We'll get your mouse over there on the right screen. Inventory. All right, let's go to inventory. Right now, I just got done with my 30-day deal. I mean, there I said minimum about $29,000, somewhere around there. We got 29.4. We got 54 Bitcoin. And we're at level 12, right? Now that's where we're sitting. Now, what did we? And like I said, if you did those deals, you got the X Series hook here, the glowing pear, okay, the X Series jig head, all this stuff came out by just doing 30 days catching panfish. That's it, and all the challenges that we did. Okay, and we ended up getting the X Series float, the X Series pear float, the X Series slim float, and the fluorocarbon here for completing challenges along the way. So that's where we're sitting right now. So we're not sitting too bad, right? So we're going to go through this. I'm going to explain what all this stuff is on the left. And then when we're all done, we're going to go shopping, because we have to get ready for our next phase. Now we have to get a couple of sticks, to move forward. But before we get those sticks, I want to explain what all this data is on the left-hand side, what this all means, because this is very important. This is how you build your arsenal. This is how you build your weapons, how you understand what prey you're going after, and the type of weapons you need to take. So you have ultimate experience, make the most amount of money, and cost you the least amount of money to repair all your gear. All right, so we're going to get started here. Right now, we're just talking about a telefloat, right? So they gave us a telescopic pole to start off with, all right? Telescopics, okay? So what is a telescopic pole? Well, it's a pole that slides down. The normal fishing poles, you have like two pieces hooked together. And of course, it's a carbon blank, or it's made out of glass or fiberglass or bamboo. It's made out of different materials, but you got a blank, and they put guides on them at different spaces, different sizes, and those guides mean a lot depending on the weapon that you're building. Okay, and that's what we're going to go over. What this all means. So we've got telefloat. Now I keep one of these telescopic rods in my truck all the time, because you can smudge them all down to about 18 inches 2 feet, little. Put a little small ultralight on it, or I have a bigger one, that's like a 10-pound gear, and I have one that's 8-pound gear, a little smaller. But you can keep them in your truck. It's really nice. You find a spot. Hey man, that looks good over there. Pull over off the road, whip out your telescopic, zip. You can just snap it out there like a fly rod, and everything comes out and whoop. And then, of course, you have to adjust everything and get it all lined up. But it's a great little stick to have. They're nice. And this game builds them nice because they make them very strong. So they're very good for flipping in this game. Now, normally in real life, most of us fishermen use bait casters to do our flipping. And that's because the way a bait caster is built with the small guides on top. And it's very small, and the line comes off of a spool, off of a reel, a round reel that spins, and it doesn't have to unwind off of a large spool. So that's why your difference in your spinning rods. They have the big, what they call gathering guide. It's very big because spool comes off, it unwinds, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos, and I'll put the links down there to the videos where I talk a lot about the bait casting versus spinning reels and stuff like that. So for this, we're going to move forward now. What we're going to do here, we've got this. So let's talk a little bit about this setup that we got right here. So what it's showing is durability. All right. Now your durability right here, 18,000 durability on this stick. Right, and that's where it's sitting at right now. I repaired it on the way back off the lake because it got me for the repair job, so it's up to 100%. But it was down a little bit. The line was down, so you can see the line was down to what's the percentage? He's down to 58%. Just for all this fishing I've been doing. But durability. Now, this tells you how strong your pole is, how long it'll last for you. And when I say you buy the SE gear, the SE gear gives you higher durability. Nothing else is different about that stick, but it gives you higher durability. It lasts longer. Length. Okay, here I'm using the imperial system, so it gives it to me in feet and inches rather than centimeters. So you got something that's a 14.9, that's about 450 centimeters. Line weight. Now, line weight is a big thing on a telescopic rod. Now, line weight is how heavy you can string that thing. Now, with a telescopic rod, it doesn't care about. You can put any amount of bait on this that you want, as heavy as you want. It doesn't matter about the lure weight with one of these guys. What it matters about is the bobber. Okay, so if you put too heavy of a bait on, you could sink your bobber. So you have to have a heavier bobber, something that can handle a heavy bait. And that's what's going on with telescopic rods. Okay, now, and there's action pieces. Now, that's how many pieces. There's 5 sections to this telescopic rod that folds out, and guides, 7 guides. Now, when you buy a pole in real life or in this game, guides, the more guides, the more accurate casting that rod is going to be, that stick. It's going to be more accurate. So if you've got 11, 12, 13 guides, it's going to be way more accurate than something with 5, 6, or 7 guides. Right? But telescopic rod, you're not throwing it far. You don't have to be accurate. In this game, they make it more for a flipping stick. Just flip it out there with the F11 key. All right, now they give us a mini spin 800 on this. 19.5 recovery on it. Ratio you don't have to really worry about. In real life, we worry about ratio. In this game, you don't. You worry about recovery. Okay, so for every crank of the reel, you get 19.5 inches back. That's what that basically means. And the max drag, that's a big thing. Max drag, okay, that's 2.75 pounds. Now what is the stick? The stick is 2 to 4 pounds. So this is only half. I mean, it's not a very well balanced system that they give you. And then they give you, 2-pound test. So this is what we've been fishing with. But of course, we're fishing for little tiny fish that are a pound max. Maybe I've got some I've got some bass on this thing now, over a pound. But, it's a small gear, and that's what it is. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about, now when we move forward, telescopic. This is just one of them. Now, we're going to talk about telescopic rods we have in this game, spinning rods we have in this game, match rods, feeder rods, bottom rods, casting rods, carp rods, and spod rods. And it's all basically the same deal, guys. The durability, the length being how far you can cast it. Of course, the longer the stick is, the longer you can cast it. The shorter it is, the shorter your casts are going to go. So these things all come into play when you target your prey, what you're going after, what environment you're in. Are you in an environment where you're in a boat and it doesn't matter? You don't have to cast long and you can make short casts. These are all the things that come into factor, and you got to understand what all these mean so you can choose the right gear. All right? So we're done with that. We're done with this. We're going to leave this up for now because I'm going to talk a little bit more now. This is going to be more data because I don't have the gear here. We don't have it. So we're going to go over to the shop and we're going to take a look at it as we talk about it. All right. So we talked about the telescopics, basically what a telescopic pole is. All right. Now, and the telescopic poles. Now, these guys, we have certain manufacturers in this game. We got the Gary Scott guys. Okay. We got Flagman. We've got, who else we got in here that builds stiks? Magfin, Rivertex. That's pretty much it. Old Chubber. We'll get into the feeder poles and the bottom poles and the carp poles, or the Old Chubber guys. All right. So we got these manufacturers. These are real guys out there. They build these sticks. They're what they are. Fishing Planet downloaded the specs off of this gear, and that's what we fish with here. So this isn't made up stuff. You need to balance it to make it all work the right way. So let's talk a little bit about, before we start talking about these sticks, there's basically, we talk about, there's power, there's action, there's line weight, and there's lure weight. If we go back to the inventory, we don't have all that here. We don't have another pole, okay? However, if we go to the shop, like I was at, and we go to like spinning rods, let's go to spinning rods. So we got length, lure weight, line weight, power, action. And this is what we're looking for, an amount of guides. This tells you everything about that stick, all right? So let's talk about, we know what the length is all about. The longer the stick is, the farther you can cast, okay? Lure weight. Now this is everything. This is what kind of ammo, what's the range of ammo you can throw on this thing? 1/6 to 5/8 ounce. 1/6 to 5/8 ounce. That's, you guys, that's 5 grams to 18 grams. That's kind of, that's what this stick will throw. And this is what? This is the Flagman value, spin the first guy out there. So each one of these goes up in that, and it's all variety. So when you're choosing your weapons, you want to choose something that suits you. Choose something that gives you a large variety of lure weights. So it's versatile. And I have a whole series on the best sticks in the game, and you can watch them for every level, 1 through 80. All right, guys? So you can go watch them. I pretty much pull out the best sticks that you can get. Now, if you can't get them, now I did all that, not caring about money or how much. I just chose the best sticks. Now, things change when you're dealing with, you don't have the money to buy the best stick, but you need to upgrade yourself. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're looking at, I can't buy the best sticks for the first 10 levels. I'm buying the sticks that's going to get me successful through the game. And we're going to go, when we're all done here explaining this, then we're going to go shopping, and Buck's going to spend his $29,000, and we're going to get all set up for the next phase of this. Okay? So let's talk about it. So lure weight, you know what that is. That allows you to, how much you can put on that stick. Okay, line weight. How much line? Now, if it says you can, this is only 6.5 pounds, you can be safe that you can run 8-pound test on this stick and you're not going to break it, depending on the reel that you have and the setup, how you want to build it. But you can go up to 3 pounds over. You go up to 3 pounds over on the reel weight too, as far as your string level goes. So just remember that. So you've got your line weights. Now, let's talk about a little bit about action and power. All right. Now, because a lot of guys get all this confused. Action and power. Power value, or a rod weight. Now, these guys, they're classified by their power. It's either an ultralight, a light, a medium light, a medium heavy, a heavy, or an ultra heavy. That basically is how you judge by what you're going after. Are you going after lightweight fish, medium fish, heavy fish? That's your power, and that's how you choose the weapon you want to go with. All right. Now, you can't just choose power. You also, depending on what size of fish that is, then you have to take into effect, how does that fish fight? Okay. And that's where the action comes in. All right. Now, action. That is, and people get this confused, but your action on your rods, and manufacturers even do this to trick you, so they get you to buy their stuff. All right. But the way action works is, action on a fishing rod, on a stick, is how fast it takes it, once it's bent, to return to its natural position. That's very, very important for a couple of reasons. And so that's what action is. And action is measured in slow, medium, or fast, or any combination of that. Immediately fast, moderately fast, moderately slow. That's what you normally get. Moderate. It's moderate in its action. So, what does that tell you, and why is that important? Well, it, again, like I said, it tells you how fast that stick, will come back to its natural position straight. How fast does that stick operate? Now, glass sticks, and sticks are made out of a lot of things. They're made out of glass, bamboo. They're made out of carbon fiber. Okay? Now, a glass stick, very nice. However, it's a little slow on the action. It's got a lot of power. Glass sticks have a lot of carbon fiber. Fast on the action. Not so much. You can snap a carbon fiber stick if you're not watching what you're doing. All right? However, very quick. Now, why does that matter? Well, let's say we're out there. We're fighting. Let's take, think a little bit here, Buck. What are the two trout lakes? Falcon Lake or Rocky Lake. You're out fishing for trout. Now, what you don't need a heavy powered stick. A nice lightweight stick, medium light, it's fine. But you want a fast action. Why? Because those trout hit, jump, they change direction so quickly. You want a stick that's going to return back to normal as fast as it can. Why? Because that keeps that slack out of the line when that fish makes a quick sudden turn. Because if that fish makes a quick left-hand turn towards you, that creates slack. Well, if you've got a fast action stick, it's going to snap back. As soon as it loses that tension on it, it's going to snap back, therefore keeping the drag tight, helping your drag, helping keep that hook set. You got a slow action, that fish can turn, all of a sudden now there's no tension on that hook. He could turn to the left, come up 4 or 5 feet, and come down hard to the left, and then the hook's gone. You've lost it. So, and that's all because of tension. Wasn't it maybe nothing that you did wrong? Of course, if you don't know that you're fighting a trout with a slow action stick, you're going to lose a lot of fish. If you're fighting trout, you want fast action. Any fish that turns quickly, fights hard, comes up out of the water, does a lot of head spins. You want a stick that's going to stay with him. You want a fast action stick. All right, guys. So that's how that works. All right. What's the next thing in line here, Buck? What's your notes? We talked about lure weights, and of course lure weights. All these steps. Lure weight 1/6 to 5/8. Well, you put something on there, this guy 1.5 ounces. Well, you're going to snap that rod the first time you throw it. I mean, it's just that simple. Pay attention to your lure weights. And this game can confuse you, because if you're fast and you're trying to change lures real quick, and you look at that lure and it says 1/4 ounce, or half ounce. You say, yeah, I want a half ounce, and you throw it on there, and you just automatically throw it out there, and you got a stick that can only handle a half ounce, and it really was an ounce and a half, and all you saw was that half ounce. Guess what you just did? You just broke your stick. Done it. I've done it. Don't get in a heated rush. Pay attention to the lure weight. It's very important. All right. Pay attention to the guides. The more guides that you have on a rod, on a stick, the more accurate that rod will be. Right? Okay. Now, we've talked about, what are we looking at here? We talked about these value spins, the spinning rods. Okay. Manufacturers, Magfin, GS, Rivertex, Flagman. Okay, what do we got as far as the Magfin goes? You got the Featherlights, the Jig Winners, the Elemental, Aguero, and River Spear. One of my favorite rods, the River Spear and the Jig Winner. Love them. Okay, Gary Scott makes an Aurora. Rivertex makes the Thor, the Loki, the Zeus, the Thetis, and the Now Chaser. They're part of one of my best sticks in the game, a Loki, Zeus, a Thetis, a Now Chaser. Guys all hit it. Okay, they make good sticks. All right, so remember that when you're buying your sticks. All right, match rods. Now, what's a match rod? Well, a match rod basically is a spinning rod that allows you to put bait on it. That's it. You know, in the real world, they're all the same. There's no requirements. You can put any damn thing you want on any damn rod and fish with it. Okay, but Fishing Planet gives you requirements so they can charge you for things and make it, I guess, more challenging for the beginner. All right, so basically a match rod is a spinning rod. It allows you to put a float on there, a bobber, and it doesn't matter about lure weight. You can put anything on it you want. The only thing it's going to bitch about is you're going to sink the bobber with your weight. So therefore, you got to have the right size bobbers. I've got a video all about bobbers, everything about them, every bobber in the game, what they give you, and there's a lot of good. You need to watch that video because the bobbers are very, very important as to how far you can go, how deep you can go in this game. And a match rod and a bobber, you got to be in sync. You got to know what you're doing. All right, guys. Same thing though. Lure now, except the only difference with a match rod is there is no lure weight. There's no casting weight, so to speak. You don't have it. You have a strength of the stick, and that's it. All right? So if we go over there and look at rods, match rods, we look at one of them. I mean, there it is. Length and line weight. That's it. How long it is, which will tell you how far, and a match rod is for throwing shit at a country mile, and just how much weight you can string up on it. Okay? And then you've got your guides. That's important. 13, 14. Now, your match rods are very, very accurate, and you can tell because they have a lot more guides than a spinning rod has on. A lot more. All right? So, that's what you want to think about when you're building your match rods. And again, everything balanced, stick, engine, string. Stick being the most important. Run your engine don't run your engine over. You can run your engine a little behind your stick, and then run your string up to 3 pounds over the two of them, and you can build, and you're good. You're safe, and you got a strong weapon. All right, so we talked about the match rods. Where are we at here? 29 minutes. Let's try to finish this in 30. All right, casting rods. Same deal, guys. Same deal with the casting rods. It's length, lure weight, and line weight. Action, power, and action. Lightweight, power is light, so it's for smaller fish. Action is fast. That's what you want, especially in a casting rod. You want something that's fast. It'll snap back for you quick, gives you fast action. That's how it works. That's how you build your stuff. Keep everything balanced. Carp rods. All right, let's take a look at the carp rods. Carp rods are pretty much the same way. Now, of course, I'm here on this thing. I don't have access. You got to be level 34 to get carp rods. But the carp rods are basically, it's a casting rod with a stiff butt section for power and a whip crack tip section. So they build these sticks all automatically for power in the bottom, give you that slower, strong power action, and then they give you a fine-tuned tapered tip to give you so you can throw it. I mean, you can throw this thing to a carp rod, you can throw to the moon. I mean, that's what they're made for. Just toss them forever, and you can do that. And that's how the carp rods work. Okay. Now your spod rods, they're used for baiting an area. So you get into the spod rods. There's only a couple in this game, spod rods. When you mix up ground bait and you want to spot, it's like we do over here in America. We chum. Well, over there in Britain, they use these a lot here. They put a rocket on there. You pack that rocket full, and then you throw it out there, and it opens up, and it spits bait all over the place. And it got a fast retreat, so you can hit it out there a couple of times while you got your rods in the water. That's how that works. I'll try to get another video down the road here. I did one on ground baits, but we'll talk about that spotting, because there's other ways to do it with catapults. You can spot with catapults, and that saves you a slot in your weapons, so you don't have to take a spot rod with you. You can actually take a catapult. Now the issue there though is distance. Catapults only get you 131 feet. Spot rod will get you a lot farther. So all depends on where you're fishing. Know where you're fishing as to what you take. Again, tackle. Know your tackle. All right, so we did that. Reels that go with each stick. Yep, we talked about big fish, high temperatures. I didn't talk too much about the big fish and high temperatures. The way drag works, guys. Here, you got washers that go against a spool, and your bait casters usually have a star drag on them right on the side. You're spinning, and they go on top of a rod. There's usually a finger trigger for a bait casting rod. All right, now. Bait casters are what we in the real world actually use to flip with. Okay, in this game, you can't flip with a bait caster. You have to flip with a spinning rod or a match rod. So you can flip with either one of those rods. Basically, it just, the F11 key allows you to just flop it out there, and it's a set distance that rod will flip. And the longer that rod is, the farther that flip will go. And I carry a flipping stick with me because I love it, because it's the ability to catch fish fast. You don't have to fight them. Once you latch onto them with a flip stick, it's a couple of zip, and they're in. So you got them. So that is a very nice thing to have. That's why I carry a flipping stick with me. Catch big fish, unlike gear without a big fight. So it's good for your XP. All right, Buck. Go down through here, you pretty much the feeders. Okay, let's talk about feeder rods and bottom rods, guys. Okay, feeder rods. Feeders. There we are, feeder rods. They start at level 3 and go up to level 27. All right, what is a feeder rod? Well, a feeder rod, or what they call quiver rods. All right, these guys in the game come equipped with three quiver tips. You get a light, a medium, and a heavy. And basically, all this is, fellas, is a bottom rod, a lightweight bottom rod. It allows you to put ground bait on it instead of a sinker, as do the bottom rods. You can do the same thing with the heavy, the snipers. What are the bottom rods? The cat boxers that we have. What do we have on the bottom? I had them all listed. Yeah, the heavy chaser, the cat boxer, the bottom sniper, La Cazadora, Macanzi. All right, these are all bottom rods, made by Old Tubber. All right, and the only difference is you take the sinker off and put a feeder on them. This comes with a feeder naturally. You can take the feeder off and put a sinker on them. So they're bottom rods. Remember that. So you always have a bottom rod starting from level 3. And in your missions, you have to do that. You'll have to use them. Buy them wisely, just like every other. They come in a length. They have a casting weight. So because you're putting bait on them, just like a bottom rod, you don't have a bobber on here. So the rod itself has a limit to the bait that you can put on it. All right? Now, match rods, bobbers, floats, no limit on the weight. It's all based on the bobber that you put on it. Okay? With the bottom rods or the feeder rods, they have a weight. So you have a casting weight. You can only put 3.5, or what am I looking at here? All around. Let's go to the Creek Pro here. Here's a Creek Pro, level 5, 8'10", 3/8 to 1 3/7 ounce casting. That's what you put on that. So it depends on the weight of your bait. You know, whether you're throwing chicken livers or whether you're throwing large minnows, they all have different weights. And that's important for your bottom rods, whether or not, because if you have a, let's say you have a big sinker on there and a big bait, your rod may not be able to handle the both. You may have to go down to a smaller sinker, or you may not be able to throw that large of a bait on that bottom rod. And that's how they work. Same thing, power and action. How quick it snaps back to the natural position is your action, moderately fast right there that we're looking at for the Flagman Creek Pro A10, and its power is light. So it's for light fish, small fish. That's for your breams and that nature. This is for bottom rod fishing for those 3-pound, 4-pound fish. Okay, that's what that's all about. So take the rods accordingly. If you need a bottom rod and you're fishing lower level waters and lower level fish, get yourself a feeder pole. Throw away, you don't have to do the ground bait. Throw away the feeder that comes in there. I'm going to do a whole video on all those feeders, the open cage, the closed cage, the flat. There's so much. There's so much to do with. And if you guys are from America, we don't fish a lot with this kind of gear. It's more European. I'll try to help you out there. I'm learning it myself. I've fished with it for a year now on Fishing Planet, so we'll see how it goes. All right, we're coming up on 37 minutes. I think this is good. We took care of all of our casting stuff. So let's go. Well, 37 minutes. It's really not enough time to go grocery shopping, to go over to the weapons, go over and buy our stuff that we need to buy for the next phase. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start the next mission, the next terminal tackle. We're talking about hooks, bobbers, sinkers, etc. And I will go over there. I'm going to buy some sticks. I'm going to buy the sticks that we need to buy here for this next phase. So we'll go ahead and do that next time around. We're going to spend our money, go get what we need, and we'll be ready to go with the second phase. So I hope this helped you out a little bit, guys, here. I'm trying to go back and redo these things and talk a little bit more about what this stuff actually means for you. So you understand what you're building. Understand what you're chasing, what you're hunting, what you need. So remember, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. It's Buck with another one. I hope I didn't mess anything up on this one here. Thanks a lot for watching. Never, ever give up the fight. We'll see you later. Listen to the crickets sing, the rattle of a dog chain. Listen to the southbound breeze just creeping through the trees.